Up next is a Zoom call with my dear brother of almost 10 years, Jesse Metcalfe, who has, through the years, always shown up whenever I asked him to. Showed up in this. I connected with him after pursuing Paramount to get involved in what would be the next steps, and specifically in my hometown, and also because I have a film that I'm directing. That's a family movie for a teenage audience that I want him to star in. And also my brother, who I still have not had the privilege of meeting in person, but has been represented by the same person that has represented me and guided me through all of this, and Joey Stanton. But my dear friend Taylor John Smith, who I've connected with my other dear friend and partner Eric Chandler, since Taylor and Eric are both in Nashville, and they're going to oversee the Nashville hub of what will be Lucille Studios, Big Picture World Group, Canyon Country, Love Street, all of the above. And all of these men are working with me as it relates to what we are going to lead forward for the next generation of kids at Piney Woods School. Out of everybody that I met when I was working on the film Escape Plan 2, Jesse became the closest person to me from that group of individuals that I made that movie with before I went on to go and do Cutthroat City. And I'm very grateful to have him in my life. So, Metcalfe, I love you, bro. Taylor, can't wait to keep building with you. And it is only up from here. God bless. We also get an appearance with my brother, Dean Hadley, who went to Piney Woods School and is pretty much the whole reason why we are partnered with them in the first place. He joins us at the end. Enjoy. Hello,
Oh, what's up, brother?
Taylor. Hey,
How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing, bro. Our brother Jesse Metcalfe may jump in here and join us because he's one of my on-set producers for directing. I don't know
Nice.
if you guys have met or know each other, but
No, I haven't. That's awesome, dude.
I love the mustache, bro.
Thank you, man. Giving it a try. Seeing how it goes. My sisters talked me into it. They're like, time to switch it up."
And that's something we're going to talk about because this is actually, we're going to talk a little bit about the music festival too, because it's all divine time. We're finally in it, Taylor.
Nice.
So let me let in Jesse. Hang on. Mr. Metcalfe, you're on mute. There he is, sunglasses and all. Steve
I'm
McQueen here.
I'm so swamped, man.
Thanks for
I'm
making
I'm
time.
no problem. And of course, thanks for remembering me and considering me for this project. I really appreciate it.
No, man, of course. So
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to Taylor. So Taylor and I met through Joey, who's our mutual manager and has been the partner in building all this. And we launched a Gen Z division because basically what we structured, Mr. Metcalfe and Taylor, because I haven't really got into specifics. So the Canyon Country store, I partnered with Tommy Bina when I pivoted, thinking we lost Paramount in November. And Sydney, you know this, Jesse. We talked about this at Soho like 7 years ago. Her love for Jim Morrison and the Doors. And so
Right.
Love Street, which is literally the Canyon Country store, we've partnered and we are launching the brand globally. So we licensed and own the entire IP that is the Canyon Country store. So we're building Canyon Country resorts and studios already on land that we own all over the United States and 600 acres in Jamaica that I'm already in deep conversations to partner on, and also a complex for a college of sports and media that would be in Jersey and Atlanta. So all this is aligned because we structured as a nonprofit film studio, but then all of the artists and all the investors own the advertising agency and the hotel real estate ownership group. So the fund itself with the studio and the Lucille streaming platform, basically nobody profits off of. It goes back into the incubator to fund all of the content, and then everybody gets paid their normal creative fees. If it's a $25 million movie, you're getting standard salaries you would get on a studio film. But then all of us have ownership because it's the artists uniting together.
and the fashion and beauty business for Canyon Country, the fashion or the health and wellness businesses overseen by Brad Bowes and other leaders. So it creates a 360 self-publishing ecosystem with the film studio that nobody makes money off of, but funds all of the philanthropy foundation efforts that we do every year, including a yearly 2-week telethon for global impact. And so this is building a modern Planet Hollywood, but I did it with all of my connected relationships, some new and some old. And Jesse, I'm fully convinced you were the reason for Escape Plan 2, bro. It was you and Putman. Because then Putman can't make Cutthroat City, but I always had a connective point with the crew member and then a connective point with obviously one of the lead talents. And then I got introduced to Taylor and I realized it was the mirror to my life when I was messed up and also dancing in crazy dark waters to when I met Johnny. And Joey had always wanted to work and rep with Johnny. It was this whole thing directly connected to my life that I had to walk through, but I knew who to go back at connective points in time based on things that were coming into play. So I need your guys' help throwing a major music festival. Taylor, this isn't just about the bird. You and I are making that movie. Major League Baseball, we've already been in talks with. I have massive plans. We'll focus on that IP later because I've talked about some other things. I've talked about us creating it together. I want to get you guys as basically my main face partners, along with TJ Loverboy, who's Chris Brown's best friend, Rocco Nugent. We already Zoomed yesterday. He built all this for me, Jay Ivy. We're throwing the biggest global telethon and music festival since Live Aid. And I know that your sister's deep in the Nashville music scene, Taylor. I've got the connective points for LA and Jesse, man, bro. You've been in and out of the music and you're like me, man. You're a chameleon bouncing it
Bro,
off.
you're throwing so much shit at me. I don't even know what end is up.
This is why I'm recording this. I'm gonna send it back to you so you can watch it. But also, just so you guys know what we have completed, I produced They Live in Real Life. We've ended corporate everything with this because I basically have held all the studios hostage since we're launching a streaming platform on June 6th. I've called out every single major CEO to show up for a telethon to give back to the earth. So I'm letting you know what's going on. All this is focused on me taking the fire because we own the trademark on Pulp Fiction. Paramount thinks that they own the IP. I announced in a video that goes live that I have bought the Ocala Drive-In movie theater. I've turned it into Lucille Studios at the Ocala Drive-In. John Travolta lives in my hometown, and we control Pulp Fiction. So I'm making Pulp Fiction the Drive-In anthology series. Each of you are starring in your own episodes, and I'm giving ownership in this studio to all the artists. And this is all Wu-Tang Clan. Power partner with me for fashion. Got RZA on the real estate side. And I started a management company with literally YDB, Barson Jones, ODB's son. So this is the artists uniting together, basically lowering the gates, bringing them somewhere else with essentially all A-listers involved from a relationship tree ecosystem. And Jesse, we own land like in Canada, Brownsville, New Jersey, New York, Oklahoma. So we're building these resort hotels. It's a modern Planet Hollywood. And that's the data dump. That was mainly for you, Jesse, because Taylor knows pieces of this.
Well, that is like some high concept shit right there. That is a lot of different things going on. But as a creative mastermind and genius like yourself, you need to just delegate the information as needed. Feed me the information that I need. Now that I have the broad strokes, I honestly really can't even grasp all of that because it's just you have so many moving parts.
I'm
But
sorry,
how can I be of service to you?
I want you
If I can be of service to you by acting in your projects, amazing.
I want
if I can be
you
of
to
service,
host.
amazing.
I want you to be a producer, a host, and help create elements of this telethon. I'm getting Coca-Cola and Mercedes on board. I've also created a viral advertising agency campaign with all of us sharing Coca-Cola together, all the people that helped me on this pursuit of Paramount. Literally a David versus Goliath story. I'm not Skydance. I'm not rich. Everybody knows me as Will. And Jesse, man, I wanted to direct. I always wanted to make They Live. So I've leveled up from the character I played. I also had to atone for a lot of the sins of my past. You know, Taylor's been posting on his Instagram daily just passages and workshops from what he's been working on and studying. And so much of that was guiding me along because I'm converting to being Catholic because also I danced in the dark and had addiction issues for many of my 20s, like pretty much up until I even met you. And that was
Who hasn't?
hard to, huh?
Who hasn't?
I know,
Yeah.
but I had to atone for that. And also I saw what that did
Okay.
to certain women around me at times. And so, there's some horrible things that people that I know, some of which were famous, have been put through. So I built a social justice platform called Big Picture World Finds Justice. The launch of that is on June 6th. It's a 24-hour live streaming loop of the path and pursuit of Paramount. So the first episode is getting justice for Big Picture World Group, being told that there were no leaders and Project Rise partners when we put together a $14 billion bid. So this is all about me shining a spotlight to truly try to change the industry overnight, but to give people whose voices are silenced in any business a platform where they can come to, and we essentially tackle traumas head on to literally set people free. And so much of this, Jesse, was me identifying demons in my childhood and having to
I
come
love it.
back at what I
I love it.
say.
Yeah.
So I want you involved in that
Yeah.
with me because
No,
you're
that'd be great to be involved. Let me just tell you one thing though, right? So you pull all these people together from your past, all these people that love you, all these people that have worked with you before, and all these people have all these have their own lives to contend with, and all these like crazy irons in the fire and goals and businesses they're trying to build and stuff like that. It's just this is a lot to download. I'll be real with you, a lot to
so
download. I'm impressed. I want to support and I want to be a part of, some things that you're doing, but I can't grasp all that. It's
that's
just like
okay.
it's
So
too
I want
much. Yeah.
health and beauty with me on set when I'm making these movies, and then we'll talk offline about some other stuff because I wanted
Sounds
to.
good.
I did it because I know you were pressed for time. So Taylor, this is for you and I. Just Jesse, it got kind of blocked together because I'm on this insane travel
No,
schedule. So,
all good.
Mr. Metcalfe, health and beauty, bro, things that
Okay.
you excel at, and
Yeah.
then this telethon, man, is my passion. I hung my career out there, literally on a proverbial cross, to make sure this telethon can happen. So I'm in this with you if you'll be in it
Well,
with me.
dude, I appreciate you keeping me in mind, and I appreciate you for considering me in any projects that you're helping get off the ground. And however I can support you in your philanthropic endeavors, I'm more than willing.
I love you, man. Thank you,
Love
bro.
you too, man. You got
Cool.
it.
I'll tap in with you after this
And
weekend.
good to reconnect, Taylor.
Yeah, good to see you,
Good
brother.
to see you, man. Okay. Talk soon.
All right,
Thank
peace.
you.
Peace.
Mr. John Smith. Thank you for
What's going
taking the
on, dude?
time. I didn't mean to jumble these together. This
No, you're
was
good, brother.
on real time. So we haven't really just got a chance to talk creative. What I wanted to do was focus on everybody knows you as the actor, but I don't think one of the things I connected deeply over with you is when you started sending me ideas of creation that you had as a writer that you were working on with your sister. I was
Hmm.
wondering, and also your guys' relationship is really cool to look at because of the music yin and yang, in a weird way. Sydney, who we started as one thing, now partners in all this is another. She's always been the music brain. Oh, here's Dean, who got Piney Woods. So this is my partner in sports, because that's something I want to talk to you about too. Sorry, I didn't know. It's the same
No,
Zoom
you're
link,
good.
so people just keep popping, but we're staying focused on you. Will you talk about expanding outside the box because so many people just get identified as the characters, right? That we get chosen to play at times, or we're playing ourselves because you're so much more than an actor. And that's one of the reasons why I really gravitated towards doing this together in the manner we have. And you've been so supportive for me, just with encouragement from sending you FaceTime calls to, I'll never forget that day of warfare, because I really want you involved in the foundation that's focused around my grandfather, who was a Navy veteran. And there's a book IP, Presumed Lost, which I showed in that video that he's on the cover of. That's always been a dream to develop that. So since we're diving deep and more than just you out
Yeah,
front as an
tell
actor,
me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about that, about presumed loss.
so
What's
he was on, so it was the story of the USS Pope and the Perch. So it's about all the subs and the battleships and the warships during World War II. My grandfather was on the fourth sub sunk during the war, and he was a POW for almost 4 years. And
wow?
I'm fully convinced with what I've been through. So I would grow up going to all these POW reunions at the Hilton Hotel that was out by 200 in Ocala. And so I would meet, but as a kid, right, I go to these POW reunions. And I'm not knocking my parents for taking me to any of that, my mom and my grandmother, him, because I got to be around such legacy. But I'm a child, right? And I'm going to these things and I'm
I
listening
don't
to like
understand.
these
conceptualize. It's a
these
lot to
war
take in as a
stories.
kid.
And so I realized how much children are like sponges, man. That's why I've gone to this is not performance art. I'm getting these downloads of information I'm communicating, and it's making like a
Mhm.
6 hour long documentary, and it's all about legacy. And the first half was connected to my grandfather and my mom. The second half is me buying I'm building a movie studio in my hometown. We are. That's literally a new
It's awesome.
Hollywood. And so, and you, because of the connection with the VA park here, what I already communicated to you, dude, we're like the faces of this thing because of Joey. And Joey's been literally every step of the way. You see Joey, Larry Franco, and David Walmark validate all of this being a collective reality, even if they haven't been able to keep up with what's going on because everyone's got fragment info. Joey's been in it with me every day. He represents
Mhm.
people like you and others. This is very real what I have done. This is not some crazy producer who's lost his mind. I was never supposed to be that. I've always been a visionary. It was suppressed. I woke up after I got baptized and did DMT, which is not a abusive thing. Rocco Nugent talks in depth about that. I had guides on this journey from every point to get to point A to point B. So this is all about the philanthropy side for me. I've literally
Yeah.
come out and said with what I'm putting out there, with my past life, the character I played that I thought I was in control of, the money I chased, the darkness I was in, I don't care if I ever make another movie again. That's why I said with these accusations, right, that I'm talking about these horrible abusive men, I always said I'll take a lie detector test. If I fail it, I'll never direct any of these movies. That's how
Mhm.
confident I am in everything, right? That my family got put through, the majority of which were women. And then I got abused by some of these men. That's what my foundations are about. I'm talking about this. It's bigger than the movies for me now. That's my vision of what I'm bringing to the table on spontaneous evolution. It's this massive book about biology and science that I want a mix of minds of all crafts involved in this. So what you bring to it, like I said, man, you post so much inspiring stuff, and I want to talk about your writing. I'm not rushing this. We don't have a limited time thing for it. So, and I know Dean's on here. Just listen. I definitely want you guys
Hey,
to
what's up, man?
connect. Hey, buddy. So Dean got us Piney Woods School,
Hey,
Taylor.
Taylor.
Hey, what's up, Dean?
But thanks for receiving that. It's been a lot to process, Taylor. You understand
Yeah.
things in such a great way, and I want you to talk about some of the work that your sister does, because especially what we're doing with the music side, and I know I need to meet her still properly.
Yeah, she's in Vancouver, or not Vancouver. She's in Toronto right now with one of her clients that she manages doing she's Robin Adelini's like a Canadian country music artist, and she's down here now, but she's doing the all the radio tours right now. She has a new single coming out May 30th. And so they're just up there in Toronto going from, radio station to radio station, kind of promoting the song. But yeah, when she's out here, I'd love to connect you too. She's big in the music space and knows a lot of different people and a lot of different creatives from, the management side to the producing side and to the artist side. So she'd be a good person to talk to about that. If you have any questions or ideas, I'm sure she could help, facilitate
Amazing.
your vision.
Thank you. So it's going to be a collective vision. So I got fragmented pieces like others, but basically the plan is one of our partners, along with the estate, has control over Jackson 5 unreleased masters
Wow.
that we want to utilize, and the streaming rights, both of those with the estate. I always clarify this now, so there's no issues. But those have been promised in a first look manner to the Lucelle studio side, whatever the studio is going to be, which it's got to be Lucelle named after the platform. And because I have figured out a way, because of Joey, with the Gen Z vision that he's talked about with Griffin, to get major brands and advertisers on board by creating this hotel ownership group and connecting it to an ad agency. So everybody from you to Dave Sheridan to Rob Russell, Jamie King to Dean, we all have ownership shares in the advertising agency. So now it's an advertising agency owned for and run by artists, producing all of the ads that all the other streaming platforms are going to be playing on their platforms. And ad
Wow.
revenue makes up billions of dollars every year in revenue. And well, there's also all the other land. So it's creating human experiences at every single parcel of land connected to the culture in those places, and then curated by the legacies connected to each one of those cities. You guys are in Nashville, right? Joey would be New York and Florida. Mine's Lucille. Dean, where he's from, Piney Woods School. And so every location has a legacy museum on it for the entertainment arts side of literally all the rebel artists who led this forward of one conscious, basically belief, man. And peace, love, happiness, kindness, forgiveness. And I want to tap into that. These people that have caused traumas or that have been through traumas, and what some of these men and also some women have put other people through, sit on a stage and by the end of it actually hug each other despite crazy stuff of the past. I'm talking things in press, everything. If we can get to a place of literally, it's called Lovolution Overnight. That's the name of the 2-week event. And it's rooted in this book, Spontaneous Evolution. One thing I've been saying, because and Dean knows this, I'm sharing this with you, Taylor, right? I never read the Bible that much growing up, hardly if ever, but I watched all the movies, right? Pieces of art. The Bible was the first book of art ever given to the world. If we say that art is subjective, but if too many people take stuff literally, then it can create the issues that we've stepped into. It's about literally taking all of the stuff that's creation that's in front of us and looking at all of it as signs and codes and paths and purposes. And for whatever reason, that's what I was able to do. Stay on track, still get through chaos. But so these streams right now are part of these videos. I've got hours upon hours of content from just Zooms with 40 people, 50 people, 60, the entire movement that we created, not to blow anything up, not to do anything violently, but just to share information from an artistic point of view of a better way to run all this. So will you talk about have you found struggle in trying to get outside the box of just being in the actor box that you've been in? Have there been opportunities past that?
You know what? I don't think there's been,
Sorry,
much.
guys. Let me take this call. I got a call.
No worries, Dean. Keep going, Taylor. Sorry.
I don't think there's been, many like obstacles set up. It's mostly just, for me personally, trying to stake my claim as an actor, and I'm still so new to this thing that my brain and my focus is fully on, storytelling from the creative side in front of the camera. And eventually I would love to direct and, write. But at the moment I'm just trying to stake my claim and use my experiences as a, quasi film school so I can learn as much as I can from different people and different projects. So at the moment, my brain is fully focused on that. I don't know how much bandwidth I have for looking bigger picture at the moment. I just turned 30 in May, and so I want to take these next 10 years, of my life and really hammer down and focus on, becoming one of the greats. And I think that's going to take as much time and attention as focus as I have on this. And if I really want to do it, I gotta put horse blinders on and run full force. So that's where I'm at right now. I love what you're talking about. I love all these brilliant ideas. I just got to make sure that, I stay true to the path that I promised myself I'd be on. And so if I can help in some way, I'd love to, but just know that's where my mind's at.
Totally.
Yeah.
I totally understand. It's, I'm transitioning into directing full time. That's happening. And, I've shared this film that I'm super, super passionate about a man who still to this day was the only athlete ever on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine as a baseball player, right? In the late 70s, the two biggest things in pop culture were Mark the Bird Fitterich and Peter Hampton. He was viral before viral existed. The Detroit Tigers, they'd have 4,000 fans. He would pitch. There'd be 50,000 in the seats. He was so popular. Frank Sinatra literally he was the only person he cared about having at his birthday party. Frank
That's
brought the
awesome.
bird out. Elton John was in town. Elton's playing the concert. He demanded to have the bird there. So Elton John, Frank Sinatra, all these people are characters in this. And it's a period piece. And because it's me and I understand how collaborative this is, and I'm stepping up in the manner that I'm doing, that's a film that I was talking about letting you dive into. And if you wanted to co-direct something like that, because it's big in scope in the aspect that it's period piece, right? So since I would be, and this is what we talked about briefly, you playing the bird, but also approaching it in a manner to where we're actually creating each layer of that story together, also visually what we're seeing. Since it's you on camera, I got a very different way of how I'm approaching directing, from seeing so many different sponges and mirrors of people, from
Hmm.
producing various levels of that and seeing what worked and didn't. I have an entirely different approach to this that is so centered on actually what's being seen on screen, but the connective points of literally this road and that road, if it had gone a different way, so we could try to wrap something around in a manner that hasn't been done, not only with the sports biopic, but a piece of legacy, because so much
Yeah.
of this has been about being concerns of legacies. And this is one of the best sports scripts I've ever read because it's a journey of father and son. And I don't want to talk on this, but who I'm zeroed in on and thinking about that would essentially be your parents in this thing, would make this, there's never been anything like this before, and it would be take place in Massachusetts and Detroit. So that's a movie that after I launch with this horror film Pucks, and then also do this movie about immigration that David McClennan and I are doing with Esai Morales and some other individuals, I wanted to make this in the fall, and this would be a period
Nice.
piece, Major League Baseball involved film. And there's quite frankly, I haven't even, I mean, you guys Joey this, there's nobody I want to do this with outside of you. So I've been literally, I mean,
I appreciate you, brother.
promoting this. This is the first big thing that I'm going to do that ultimately leads into I've been pursuing They Live. But, like you said, you want to be a movie star for the next 10 years. I mean, I'm planning on being one of the biggest directors of all time for the next 10 years. So I want to do that with you. You've been so gracious. And all I got to do is launch this, and then we'll see how God literally steps us into everything. Just
Yeah, for sure.
the path has been so brutal, and you've been one of the things that's kept me on it. So independent of all that, I just want to give you some energy that wasn't just a FaceTime call. Say thank you for showing up. And there's no way I could have done any of this in this timeline of life, man, without you, bro. And you're one of the greatest
I
actors that
appreciate you,
I've ever
brother.
met. So
I appreciate you, man.
truly,
And yeah, great things are coming, bro. And you just got to keep hammering. Keep on the path. You're doing it. So
thank you.
give
And
yourself some kudos.
thank you. And are you down to work in this foundation that honors my grandfather? It'd
Yeah,
be
man. Yeah.
all
Let me know how
focused
I
on
can.
Ocala. And thank you,
Yeah,
man.
let me know how I can help.
Thank you, man. Um,
Absolutely.
I'll be in touch between now and Monday. Finally
Perfect.
got this IP thing done, but when I can get settled and all this off of me, I'd like to come see you. We could talk more about this film, and it's connected to legacies in Massachusetts that we'll talk about. But just thanks for always being so gracious. Thank you.
For sure, brother. For sure, man. It's good seeing you, brother.
You too, Taylor. God bless you,
Uh,
bro.
God
Thank you.
bless you too, brother. Talk soon.
Later.